Imagine being sent back in time to ancient Egypt, with new places to explore, OP loot to find, and new enemies to take on. This is our most exciting journey yet. I will need to uncover the pyramid secrets and defeat the ancient pharaoh, so I can get my hands on their powerful abilities. I also want to construct a giant desert base to stay protected from the Barbarian Warlord and his people. Can I complete my goals? My name's the Coffee Fuel Genius, and this is 100 Days in Ancient Egypt. Will I survive? Let's find out. Day 1 was pretty intense. Barbarians had already spotted me and started firing their arrows. I quickly dodged them and then tried to escape, but they were closing in. I thought I found a way out, but the drop was just too steep, and I didn't want to take any risks. I sprinted as fast as possible over the sandy dune until I came across a pack of hostile wolves. Now these guys were relentless. It started chasing me and I had no choice but to run. Its speed was impeccable and it almost caught up with me, but I quickly created distance using elevation, climbing up the hill to hopefully lose this relentless wolf. It worked. The wolf couldn't make the jump, so I ran away. My legs were aching, and I underestimated just how difficult this journey might be, but I had to carry on. I chopped down some wood and then made a full set of basic tools. Whilst I was chopping down a tree, I was ambushed by a giant scorpion. He was colossal in size and did a crazy amount of damage. 2 hearts. Oh no, I had to run. Barbarians! I had nowhere to turn. I needed food fast. I tried to get my hands on this rabbit. They were just so fast. 1 down, and then I got another one. Wait, it didn't even drop anything, now I just feel bad. A pack of hostile wolves and even more barbarians were closing in. I had to create some distance and use this time to grab some more food, and then started mining up limestone. I don't know why though, because I don't know what it does. So in the meantime, I had to cozy up inside a cave. I lit it up with torches, put down a crafting table, and then I realized you use it like stone, so I made myself a furnace, put coal inside, and started cooking up all that rabbit and quail. It's so succulent. Peace didn't last very long though, as I spotted a barbarian, and I made the worst cover you've ever seen, but somehow it worked. They didn't spot me. Oh, guess I'm here for the night. I grabbed some more limestone, then upgraded my wooden tools. I was surrounded by enemies and they were just too powerful to take on. So while we wait, hit that subscribe button because we're so close to 500k. Sunrise was here and I decided to brave it and abandon my small cave. I ran out into the vast Egyptian world and did some exploring. I even came across a small mob spawner and grabbed some XP. But then I noticed more barbarians, so I went and grabbed myself some more food, wood, and then I found this small structure. I decided to mine it up because I might use the blocks later for a build. But then I was ambushed by bandits. Look at these guys. They wanted my valuables, but they weren't getting them. I decided to take them on, fighting them with my limestone sword. I tactically picked my hits, but then I still had the archer to take on. Feeling intimidated, I tried to escape, but then I started taking some serious damage. Oh no, 2.5 hearts. I dodged the arrow shots, made a small obstruction, then ran away. I think I lost them. That was way too close, and with just 2.5 hearts, I had to act quickly. So I spent my night killing camels for food. But it was getting too dangerous, so I headed underground to cook all of my food Gordon Ramsay style, then I headed down and did some strip mining. I then discovered this beautiful dark block that I would use for builds later, so I mined all of it up. I headed deeper and deeper until eventually I found a cave. I then came across some obsidian, which is pretty rare in Egypt, so I'll be coming back here later. And then after some exploring, I came across a stone guard. Now these guys look friendly, but after bashing his head over with a limestone sword, he did some serious damage. With just half a heart left, I thought it could end here. In hardcore Minecraft, I would lose everything. So I sprinted away as fast as possible, blocked myself in, checked out the area, and then I chewed on some camel to restore my health. I then headed back to take on this fiend. These guys are really durable and take a lot of damage, but with a lot of persistence, I finally took him out. I then came across some iron, mined some more and found redstone, but then the cave started shaking and a whole army of stone guards were coming my way. So I had no choice but to block them in and start returning to the surface. I'll come back here later. Once I made it to the top, I took a good look around and amongst burning foes there was a deadwood forest. In this forest there was wood for miles, so I took advantage and started chopping down trees left, right and center. Wood chopping didn't last very long though, as I was ambushed by a captain. The barbarian warlord must have sent him to take me out, but I was just too quick and eventually took him down. But it wasn't over. I looked into the distance and spotted an assassin. I was marked for death. I quickly started building up to create elevation and distance between us both, but then something unimaginable happened. The assassin can climb! I started to panic. I didn't know what to do. I quickly built an area, but then I slipped and fell off. Oh no! Poison! And with just half a heart remaining, I had no choice but to turn and run. I sprinted as fast as I could, started building up and chewed on some food, and then... He doesn't do anything. Once I no longer feared the assassin, I started to strike, dodging his hits and finally eliminating him. Can I not just get a break? I set up camp and then finally crafted myself a shield and battled barbarians most of the evening, but then the sun fell and the undead rose. I was fighting mummies, wraiths, and even bone storms most of the night. Then I spotted a village and decided to risk it. I ran as fast as I could through the undead. I was so scared I would lose my life here. I ran and I ran through camels, bone storms, and mummies in hopes that I would make it out alive. Wooden flooring replaced the cold sand on my feet. I finally made it to safety. I looked out and saw a ruin that I would explore the next day, but it was too risky now. The undead was surrounding me overnight. The cool, sandy breeze brushed against my skin, but peace and tranquility didn't last long as the village was being attacked. More barbarians, and with just a limestone sword, I have to be tactical. 2 hearts! Oh no, I'd have to use my shield. I dodged the arrows and finally eliminated them, saving the town from this ambush. I was awarded Lawbringer, and the villagers thanked me for saving them and allowed me to stay. The Egyptians traded in golden coins, and so I took to a small well and started cleaning off all the dirty coins I found earlier. But then this strange topless man started approaching me. No thank you. I then almost lost my life with just half a heart, and whilst I was escaping, I was still being followed by this weird dude. I then took out the rest of the ambush, then did some Emma collection, planted some seeds, and then an Egyptian started telling me about a nearby pyramid and also a ruin. This is where I would go tomorrow, so I got a good night's rest. Some great progress made, but I had to keep moving forward. I ate some food and headed towards the ruins. I explored all of their boxes. Nebu torches! I can use these to summon the ancient pharaohs. I then tried to carry on raiding the ruin, but it got a little bit too much, so I headed back and waited for the other ambush to calm down. Whew, close one. I sorted out my inventory, got some sleep, and then headed back to the ruin the next day. I got a little bit more successful in the looting side of things, getting things like camel armor and saddles, but enemies were closing in, so I had to hurry up. I even came across a map, which allowed me to look around, but peace didn't last long. A bunch of barbarians were closing in. There was no way I was going to succeed in this barbarian battle, so I had to take a step back and think tactically about my next moves. I decided to close in, taking them out one by one, using the sword I found inside the ruin. The barbarians were infuriated and started rushing me, but I was just too smart and managed to take them all out. I even picked up one of their shields, which is super OP. I then finally took out the spawner, destroying one of the warlord's bases. I then collected a bunch more food and then took a look at the map so I could see what was around me. I grabbed the cooked food and then headed back to the village and got a good night's rest. I then spent the next day cleaning all of the jewelry I found. Once everything was gleaming, I realized I could actually wear this stuff, so I was looking pretty fresh in all this Egyptian jewelry. I then thought it was about time I tame a camel. So I used the dates I'd collected from earlier, fed the camel, and finally tamed a new best friend. I then placed the saddle and diamond desert armor upon my new friend and then took to looking at the map. It was time to head out. I could see an oasis at the top of the map, so that was the way I would go. I traveled through many different biomes and finally made it. Wow, this place is beautiful. This place was breathtakingly beautiful. I just couldn't believe my eyes. The villagers were running around and were happy to greet me. I've never felt more at home. This is the place I would stay. I then found a safe place to leave my camel, and then I stole this small human being's leather and also his bed. What? I'm trying to survive out here, okay? The sun kissed my skin and a new day was upon us. But first, a wonderful cool dip with the fish. I then headed out past the dead mirage into the sandy dunes and started limestone collection. Yep, I collected a bunch of resources because here is where I would build my base. I decided to do a bunch of terraforming. I went through a bunch of shovels, leveling out the land because this is where I would build my giant base. I planted a bunch of flax seeds and then checked on my camel, headed back to the area, planned it all out, and yep, you guessed it, got to work building. I reinforced all 4 walls with pathways and then started working on a small build on the inside. I decided to use a sort of orange crystal glass alongside the orange Egyptian wool. I then joined everything up with paths and then placed lanterns pretty much everywhere. Then I did the usual storage, beds, you know, all the typical stuff. We'd achieved so much in just a short amount of time, but the next step was to start working on a farm. Good morning to me. I'm happy with the progress so far. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I have a lot more to do, and the walls look pretty cool. And I mean, I have a lot planned. I kind of want to work on a farm area over here or something. I made some fertile soil. Let's see if this works. Let me just. Okay, so then all I need to do is just put more of this next to it, and I can hoe it down. Okay, sweet. Let me go make some more. Hang on. I was worried that if it wasn't near water, it wouldn't work. But let me just go make some more. Let's make a small area here. Now this should spread out everywhere. I'm hoping so. Anyway, if it doesn't, I'm gonna be upset. Oh. This is annoying. I need to go get some water. I need to see if I have enough iron. I think I used all my iron up for the lanterns. No iron. I just have cracked limestone. I'm literally like so tired of mining limestone. I cannot tell you. Okay, so I need a bucket so I can then start moving the water over. Because as cool as this is, I kind of want to put the farm in my base as well. That means I'm going to have to go get some iron, which means mining trip. Woohoo! Before I went mining though, I grabbed some flax and turned it into linen. I then checked out how good my base was working, keeping the barbarians away from me. I then used the bolts of linen cloth to make full wandering armor, which was pretty good. I needed to go mining with. You know what time it is. If you're a fan of the channel, you know how much I love my strip mining. I got to work collecting that crispy XP, then I came across this weird soily stuff, which actually turns out I can make my own stone guard army. That's awesome, so when I get back, I'll get to work on that. But in the meantime, it's time to carry on mining. Mining. It's my favorite thing. Wait a second. Diamonds! Oh, diamonds are my most favorite thing in the world. There's nothing that tops diamonds in this game, I swear. Gimme. I mined as many diamonds as I possibly could. I went searching and searching, and then I grabbed other things like coal, iron, redstone, all the usual things, and then I returned home. I then smelted up all of my iron, and then, yep, you guessed it, combined my diamond armor with my desert armor and made a full set of desert diamond armor. I said armor and desert so many times there. That's remember when I found that weird brown soily stuff? Well, it turns out it's called Canumite, and with that, that's how you craft the soldiers. Look at this. My own stone guard. He's just so cool. I gave him my sword, and he just patrolled around. This is the most awesome thing ever. I'm going to have a bunch of these walking around my base. I decided to do a little bit of a test with an ambush, and this guy is relentless. I then used the iron I collected to craft a bucket and then grabbed some water from the oasis and got to work on my small farm area. I got some sleep and then jumped on my bed for a little while I waited for all of the soil to fertilize. And then I headed down into my strip mine to grab some more of that really brown soily stuff so I could work on making an army of stone guards. I assembled my army stone guard by stone guard. They were patrolling, and so I decided to take a little bit of time for myself. I worked on the farm, planted a bunch of emmer, because I wanted to work on an infinite food source. I used this device called a quern, in which you take the emmer and then you spin it. And I mean you really spin it. Like, it took me a whole night. I then used the flour to make dough, which then you cook up to make emmer bread. And then I worked on stairs, some few additions to my base. I then crafted a bunch of this white ceramic tile stuff, which looked really great, so I started working on the bed. Oh no! I was ambushed by giant poisonous scorpions, and they were relentless. Nothing was stopping them, and they trapped me in a corner, doing severe amounts of damage. I tried to escape. The barbarian must have known that my stone guards can't detect the scorpions, so I'd have to face them myself. I took out the first one, and then did all I could to take out the second, losing heart by heart. I chewed up all of my bread and then faced the last one. That was just way too close, and in hardcore Minecraft, I can't be taking risks like that. I need to be more prepared for the next warlord's ambush. So I spoke with a local Egyptian, and they informed me of a crypt under this town which contained items in which I could use to summon a god. So I headed out, down into my strip mine, and I finally located the crypt. I had to clear the area of these ghoulish monsters. I cleared the area of these devilish crypt keepers and then took a look in the chest. It was amazing. It was filled with a bunch of items and even a necklace in which I could go invisible when I wear it. This was awesome. I decided to take all of the magma blocks, head home past my stone guard army and get some rest. In preparation of the summoning of the god, I built a shrine with a burning flame that pointed towards the sun. I really hoped this would work in summoning the god the Egyptian spoke of. I had to go out and grab some lava and assemble this small shrine. I lit it up, but it didn't seem to work straight away. I couldn't work out why it wasn't working. Was it my offerings? I even tried to damage myself in hopes that it would summon the god, but then I realized I need to put a fire charge down. And with that, it was happening. It was working!
Who dares challenge the god of the sun? You there, boy! You will rain fire upon these Egyptian cities. You will spread hope across these lands. For whoever lets himself be led by heart will never lose his way. Here, take this gift. Destroy the warlord. Success is on your path.
Okay, slightly dramatic and kind of aggressive, but if we skip the Egyptian burning stuff, I'll take it. I walked up to the shrine and noticed that he'd left some kind of remnants of obsidian and scorched basalt, so I decided to just leave that there to burn and make a small display because I wasn't worthy of this gift just yet. I would need to be more prepared to take on the warlord, so I made a bunch more food and then grabbed myself a diamond shovel and decided to go on another mining trip with my vanishing necklace. I headed underground and found an Egyptian mineshaft. I took on the stone guards, then powered the goddess of Thelima's necklace and stayed well hidden from all of the foes. I then came across this strange ore. I mined it up and noticed it was called Nebu. Similar to the Nebu torches, I assumed it was to do with the summoning of pharaohs, so I grabbed as much as possible, headed home and started smelting it up. I broke it down into something called Nebu drops, which then makes Nebu ingots, which I combine with a furnace to make a god forge, which is super shiny by the way. I then realized that if I sacrifice my necklace, very sad I know, I can then make god shards, and with god shards I can then make god torches. Whew, that was a lot to explain, but with god torches I can summon whatever pharaoh I like, instead of a random one. So on the topic of pharaohs, I grabbed my camel, stuck some storage on him, and then headed out to try and find a pyramid so I could defeat one. Whilst traveling over sandy dunes, I just want to take the time to thank each and every single one of you for watching my videos. It means the world to me. I finally came across the pyramid. It took a little while to work out, but I realized I need Nebu torches to activate the doors. So with those, I opened up the pyramid, and the undead came flailing. They come running at me, but with the power of the sun, they burned alive.
Okay, they're everywhere, they're everywhere, they're everywhere. Ha ha! Okay, break the spawners, break the spawners. Light these bad boys up. Oh, I don't have to waste my torches. He's broken.
I took on the undead inside the pyramid and then did a lot of looting. I then found a way down deeper into the pyramid.
Oh, it's like a maze. Ooh. Okay, what is that? What is that? Okay, there are traps. Oh, okay, you right-click them. It turns them off. There's another one.
I navigated the maze-like corridors while surrounded by the screeches of the undead.
I must be getting close. Because all I can hear is zombies. Well, mummies. All I can hear is mummies. Yo, I'm not getting anywhere. Ah! This way? No, I'm just going to put the torch in my offhand. So much easier for it. Oh. Okay, I think I found a drop. Okay, I feel like we're getting close. Oh, not good. They give me the wither effect or something. Oh, there's like loads of different rooms. Oh, I found it. Let's go. There is loot. I know that... Jeez!
I had discovered the room in which I summoned the pharaoh. This was it.
No, I'm gonna make myself like a mini... What? You can't even place blocks in here.
The pharaoh was summoned, Pharaoh Yatamesh. I had to take him on with all my power, using my stone club, but he was relentless, breaking my shield in just a few hits.
Trap him in there. Okay.
I then used the gift.
Don't let me down.
Sparks and fire emitted from my body. I was pretty much invincible for a short time, but it didn't last very long, and the pharaoh started doing some serious damage. I managed to catch the pharaoh in an awkward position and start doing some damage with the dagger. But then he wiggled his way out, so I had no choice but to keep tactically running around the pyramid and attacking him from behind. Stealth became my best friend, and I was managing to get some serious shots on the Pharaoh. And then with enough perseverance, I finally struck him down and destroyed him. Whew, that was a battle. He dropped a sort of hammer that a mummy was carrying. It was called Jeb's Might, and it did some extreme damage. The pyramid was shattered to pieces. I took a look around and even mined up the sarcophagus that the Pharaoh was in. I'll build a shrine for this when I get home. I easily dug my way out of the pyramid and then killed the mobs outside with my new mighty hammer. I bet there are more weapons with abilities out there. I then ran past this camel stuck in a tree and then walked towards the village. I then found this small structure and mined the entire roof of it because I had an idea for a build. I then looted the entire village and then found my camel and headed back home. A serious few days. I made my way back to my base, and then now it was time to make some building improvements. Let's go! I'd finally finished the construction of the shrine, and I would use this sarcophagus as a storage for my weapons with special abilities. Pretty cool. A stone guard army patrolling a giant desert base. I was pretty proud of my progress, I won't lie. Day 71, I did a little bit of fishing because I wanted some me time. I then did some exploring, headed out with Bones, and found this giraffe structure. I headed inside, but what was there to greet me wasn't so kind. It was Rex, but somehow he had been possessed by some kind of evil god, so I had to find a way to lure him out. I managed to get him out and then spam him with my dusty bones, and finally bring him back. Finally, Sandy Boy. We then teamed up to then take on the barbarians. Used my hammer's mighty strength and abilities to then take out the mobs, with some help of Rex also. I remembered I had some desert armor and a saddle at home, so it was time to head back. I looted the sarcophagus and then traveled over the oasis and over sandy dunes with Rex. We finally made it back, and then I gifted one of my stone guards the role of captain. There you go, mate. Cool. I then put down an anvil and had a name tag spare, so I put the name tag on Rex, obviously, along with the desert armor. I can ride this thing, but then we were ambushed by barbarians. Now, I am aware I have said the word barbarian about 50 million times this video, but now I won't be saying it so much because my stone guards have now taken the lead on taking them out. Look at this. I just decided to watch the whole events unfold. These bandits and barbarians will never stand a chance. No one will ever succeed in taking over my base. This is incredible. My Stone Guard army is epic. It's time to take on the Warlord. So I grabbed Rex and then I grabbed a good night's rest and headed out on my hunt for the Warlord. I'd have to cover miles of land and I searched through tons of ruins in search for that bandit leader. Whilst looting the ruins, I came across some epic gear. I found Ra's Halo, which is an awesome looking helmet. I then killed the rest of the bandits covering this checkpoint and headed out covering more land. There were a ton of bandits near this ruin, so I was hoping the Warlord would be inside, but I got too overrun. I was surrounded and taking some serious damage. I had no choice but to run. It was too late to lose my life here. I searched for Rex, grabbed his saddle, and got running. I then came across another ruin. It seemed huge. I was hoping this would be it. I took out the mob spawner, and then the Warlord's boss bar appeared, but no sign of him just yet. I took out bandits and looked around the area. I couldn't find him. I looted all of the chests, and I was finding some extremely OP gear. Tefnut's Rain, a bow with special abilities. I decided it was too risky to stay here, so I decided to grab Rex and head home. I would need a bunch more arrows and upgrade my gear if I was to fight the Warlord. I made it back home, sorted out my inventory, grabbed some arrows, and then grabbed some sleep. I then tested out this bow. Turns out, like rain, it multiplies with one arrow. This is going to be extremely useful when taking on the Warlord. I then headed back to the ruin. This was it. There he was! He was mighty, his armor thick steel. It was going to be a task. I started striking him with my mighty hammer, and then Rex started doing some damage. I created some distance and then headed back in, firing bow shots. This Warlord was fierce, and he managed to summon more bandits and barbarians. It got pretty overwhelming. I almost lost my life, so started heading out. It was time to strategize. I eyed up the area, thinking of ways to take out the Warlord. First, I decided it's time to take out his friends, so I worked on taking out all of the archers, captains, and bandits surrounding him. Perseverance became a crucial part of defeating the Warlord. Myself and Rex did all we could to take him out, and with one final blow with just 1.5 hearts, Rex saved my life. I then took out the final bandit. Oh, that was extremely intense. We did it! We defeated the Barbarian Warlord! I couldn't believe it. I continued to loot the ruins to see what the Barbarian was protecting, and yes, I found it, the rest of my armor set, and also some sort of staff, which allows me to teleport back home. This was amazing! I decided to take out the rest of the bandits, taking out the rest of the Warlord's army. And now it's time to head back. Wow. We did it! 100 days in ancient Egypt. Wait. Oh, I left Rex.